Hey, it's Ellie. Welcome back to another video, or hello if you are new. So, I lied last episode. Sorry about that. You were not going to see the cinematic in the previous episode because I did not get as far along in the building as I thought I did. I thought I had condensed it to one episode, but apparently I did not. So, part 2 of the panda habitat. And this is the episode where I work on the bottom section of the guest walkway and also the top because that's not done yet either. um, and as I said in the last episode, I do make a ton of upgrades to this section so that it's not just a blank wall. It actually has some interesting features in it. And in the end, it's quite interesting. And I made some major changes to the top here because I just wasn't liking how thick it looked. And I also didn't care for the wood that I put down initially, so I ended up switching it around. I used some bamboo flooring, and even though it looks a little bit wonky at times because I had to overlap it quite a bit to put it at the angle, I do think it actually works, surprisingly. Usually if you have something curved like this, using any of the floor pieces with like vertical lines on it, horizontal lines, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, it just doesn't work because the pattern messed up and it's like really obvious usually. But for whatever reason, as I was spinning this around and framing the circle, it didn't actually look that bad. So I decided to leave it. I think it brings actually quite a bit of visual interest to this area, because usually in a kind of space like this I would just have a solid floor with no lines or patterns or anything, but I think the bamboo works here. It actually works really well. I just had to do a lot of adjusting to it to make it fit on my habitat. And yeah, I also had these grass pieces. This pathway wasn't perfect. I will say everything, it's functioning so the guests can go around on the top of this habitat and they can go underneath and look at the animals. And so in that way, I'm very glad that everything works. It's just that I wasn't able to manipulate the terrain right here on these bumpy parts, so I had to do some clever cover-ups. And to me it's obvious that it's a cover-up, but I mean, I guess what can you do, right? It probably is not quite as obvious to everyone else, I would think, because you didn't build it. Yeah, I did my best. I will say the habitat looks so much better than it does right now, because I actually, when you put in the landscaping around it, it just made everything look actually nice. See, the habitat looks, I feel, a little bit out of place right now as it is because there's no terrain or like landscaping around, so it just kind of looks like, why would you make it like that? But I think when all the terrain is sort of in and around it, and especially with the trees and the sort of mountain area that I put just to the back of it, because this is about as far as my habitat goes. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to describe what I mean by back, but like this is the edge of my zoo, because after this point, when you go like beyond more towards the outer edges of the boundaries, like that's just forest and like a mountain that I made, so it's not actually zoo. I did not make the entire boundary, my entire available space is zoo. It's probably like maybe 3/4 of it, I would say, is zoo. Maybe a little less. Maybe it's like 2/3 zoo and 1/3 not. Probably somewhere around there, I guess. Anyway. So yeah, in any case, it looks a little silly without the terrain around it right now because everything else is just flat, and it seems like you could have made a much better habitat in the flat space, but obviously that's not the case at the end. And my cats are having a sibling fight, so sorry if you hear that again. I know this is a different episode than the previous one where my cats were being crazy, but it is in fact at the same time. I'm recording these back to back, so that's why the cats are still being crazy, though it's not unusual for them to be crazy every day of the week. So the only thing that I mostly dislike about this habitat is that I couldn't get the pathing exactly circular around the bottom. I did my best. I think it's less noticeable on one side that it's crooked, but you still can see that it's not perfectly rounded in certain parts, and it upsets me. I wish it could be perfect, but alas, it cannot. Sometimes when I'm building things like this is when I want the updated path system that we have in Planet Coaster 2. Even though I really haven't practiced all that much with it, I need to get back into that game, but I'm just having fun with Planet Zoo. So I don't feel the need to rush into Planet Coaster 2 yet. I'll get there eventually. I do obviously have the projects that I've talked about wanting to build, and I think I'm probably going to abandon my previous parks, because even though I liked what I was doing, I didn't really feel invested in it. So yeah, I think I'll wait until I feel particularly invested in a certain project before I post any Planet Coaster 2 content on my channel. But for now, that's going to bring us just about to the end of this video. I'm going to end my narration just a little bit early because I'm still pretty unwell. You might be able to hear it in my voice. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. If you do, please make sure to give it a like. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. I post Planet Zoo videos every Tuesday and Saturday. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Until then, bye!